Hi there, and welcome to anybody who's logged on through the website or anybody who's floating around on YouTube. It's another RV Ops demonstration on some of the equipment we sell. This demonstration is going to be on the DD Tarp, the extra large tarp. DD Hammocks is an Edinburgh based company, and we've been looking for a hammock which basically is not quite as expensive as the Hennessy but still retains the quality and the strength to put up with the abuse that it's going to get from the majority of military people who use it. Especially in the jungle, out in Afghanistan, Iraq, etc, etc. So, why the extra large tarp from DD? Well, a lot of you have got the Hennessy hammock, and a lot of you said that you have problems with the tarp in the Hennessy system. You said because of the shape, especially when you're using it in places like the jungle, if it rained, it was really bad weather, rain tended to get in at either end in extreme conditions. But the other thing, the most pertinent point that we had was that you use the area underneath the tarp as an admin area, and therefore the more space you had, the better it was, especially if you were static for long periods of time. So if you're in a harbour position, or as I say, if you're in any position where you're going to be there for a number of days, obviously you want to make your living space as comfortable as possible. So I'll get rid of this and introduce you to the extra large tarp from DD Hammocks. Here it is. It's absolutely massive. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll pop this peg here so you can have a look underneath. There you can see the Hennessy hammock, and obviously it's absolutely been it looks small in comparison with the tarp, but obviously the tarp is extra large, it's massive. So that's the tarp. One of the things I want to draw your attention to, if you just come over here a little bit, Pete, number of things. Like with all the equipment that you use, it is very important that you practice with it beforehand. Now, the tarp comes with 4 guidelines and it comes with 4 pegs, but there are enough loops around the tarp to actually string it out taut for a long period of time. So it's very important that you take paracord with you if that's your intention. One of the things that we've found is, I'm just going to come underneath here, if you want to come closer here, Pete, and I'll grab this little bit of a twig here. One of the things that we found is that in order to bring the ridge of the tarp off your hammock, we've actually put this piece of paracord on here, as you can see here. But one of the things that we've also noticed is that if you string the tarp onto the paracord, it actually floats. So what we've done, if you just want to focus in on here, Pete, is we've actually put a prusik loop onto the loop, and we've also added another prusik loop onto the actual line leading to the hammock. This loop, which is going down to the hammock, it will become apparent what that's for in a moment. Prusik loops, 4 of them to my knowledge that you can tie. But this is a very basic prusik loop, and what we'll do is we'll demonstrate this after this demonstration. So if you're interested in the prusik loop, hang loose afterwards and we'll just demonstrate how it's tied. Okay, so that's that. What we're going to do now is we will cut away, and I will take the pegs out, and then we will demonstrate the hammock being used in conjunction with the skins from DD Hammocks. Okay, moving on. Right, what we've done now is we've basically taken out all the pegs from the extra large tarp and we've part dismantled it. But what we wanted to demonstrate to you were 2 things. One was the skin and how we use both of the skins on the extra large tarp, okay, and the 2 prusik loops as described and demonstrated earlier. If you swing across here, Pete, we've got, as described earlier, we've got the prusik loop which is on the paracord running along the ridge of the tarp, but underneath we also have this prusik loop which is attached to the cord or the rope coming from the hammock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo this, which is just done up loosely for demonstration purposes, and take that away. Now, as you can see, we've still got this prusik loop on the rope coming away from the hammock. What we're going to do with this now is pull it really taut so that it basically keeps the tension on the tarp when we move the skin along the tarp and hammock. So get rid of my pointer and let's start gathering. So bringing in the skin as per the instructions. We bring this along, but one of the things I want you to note is as we're going along both hammock and tarp, I'm taking hold of the material and I'm gathering it up and pushing it into the mouth of the skin as I slide it down. You don't have to worry about any of the cords because that will all get gathered up by the mouth. So bring it down, gather it right in. And keep taking it. Now if you just pan to this end, Pete, you can see that it's started to expose this end, so we can now pull it back, and a little bit of attention to detail from DD Hammocks. Yeah, you've now got a little toggle on there and you can close the mouth of the skin at this end. Running along this end, Pete, what we do now is we take hold of this end, we undo once again the ridge, paracord which runs along the ridge. We then take the mouth of our skin and we run it the other way. It's again gathering material and pushing it up inside. If you don't do this, what happens is you run it along and then you end up with a big bundle of material at one end. So very, very important to feed it back in. Nearly there. Just very, very quickly make sure that all the material is in and that the mouth to the other end of your other skin is closed off. We're now going to run this second skin over the top, like so. You see all this material being gathered in, or all the ropes and string and paracord. Just pop that in there, just to keep it tidy. Now what I'm going to do now is I'll look at the other end, just watch to see how far we go. We're there now, okay? We don't want to go any further. Close off this end, lock that off, run along to this end, give it a little bit of tug to square it away and tie it off, or use the toggle. Right, now the other thing is that we want to do is we want to now pack it up in a manner in which we can transport it from A to B. Dead straightforward. One of the things that we're doing is giving away a large X-bed stuff sack with every one of these hammocks. What this will allow you to do is keep the whole system neatly stowed away. So drop that down there. I'll bring this over here, Pete. Yeah. Roll him up. And start to feed him into your large X-bed bag. I've said this is a promotional offer using the X-bed bag, but it just makes it a little bit easier and a little bit tidier. One of the other ways you can do it is you can roll up the whole system and then wrap the rope, this rope, around it and then just pop it on top of your Bergen or rucksack. And by doing that, yeah, you'll be able to transport it from A to B. So that pops in there, drop that down, close up the top and lock it off. That then pops on the top of your Bergen or your rucksack and away you go. When you get to the other end, dead straightforward, tie up one end, tie up the other, open up the snake skins and your hammock and tarp are almost in place immediately. There you go, that is the extra large tarp from DD Hammocks. Thanks for watching, cheers. Okay, as we said earlier in the tarp demos, there'll be a very quick demonstration on how to tie a prusik knot. For anybody who's out there who's a climber, ski mountaineer, or bushcraft skills, all of you will be very aware of the prusik knot and how incredibly useful it is. So this demonstration is a very simple demonstration for those of you out there who are not familiar with it. Most important thing to understand and be aware of is that the twine or string that you're using has to be thinner than the piece of cord that you're tying it around. That's very, very important in order to get the friction. So here is a very simple prusik knot. If you pan down here, Pete, here we have a piece of rope. And what we do is we take our twine, which we've tied into a loop, and we place it across the piece of rope that we're going to tie it to. Keeping this loop, we then bring the back end round and through the hole, but then we keep going, go round again and back through the hole like so. Now we pull on this end, which tightens the whole thing up, and that is quite simply your prusik knot. And you can slide it that way and it locks off, or you can slide it the other way and it will equally lock off. I'm just going to tell you or show you a couple of other prusik knots which are very, very simple to do. It's all about getting friction onto that rope with your piece of twine. Yeah, if we take our loop and then take our string and wrap it round and keep going round down the line, yeah, and then feed this end back through our loop like so, and now pull that down, it will have exactly the same effect. It won't move unless we push it. Slide it up and pull down. One other one for you, which is a very, very simple prusik loop, is keep hold of the loop, bring this round once, bring it round again, coming back on itself, and then straight through the loop like so, and that also locks off. I'll just demonstrate that one again very, very quickly for you. I'll make it big, big, big for you. So you've got a big loop here, you're coming down the rope, and then you're coming back up the rope, across, back down and through like so, and that will lock off. That's a very, very, very simple prusik knot. Okay, so there you go. That's a little demonstration for you on the prusik knot. Hope it's of use, and thanks very much indeed for watching. Cheers.